back to our home. Today, we're going to make something really, really easy, okay? I mean, it's so easy, we'll make 3 of them, so that you can have an idea of how endless the possibilities are on these things. This is called overnight oats, okay? And essentially what you do is you don't cook the oat. It simply sits and soaks in the liquid, all right? Now, your flavors are going to be based on what you soak the oat in, okay? Now, for a good texture, you're going to want to use rolled oats, okay? 100% grain rolled oats, all right? Now, for 3 servings, all right, we're going to do 3 small servings. Now, this is really, really simple and really, really, really delicious. Okay, you're not gonna go wrong with this. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take half a cup of rolled oats, and we're gonna put them in a bowl. I'm making 3 different flavors. All right, so you have an idea here. All right. So, in one case, I'm going with coffee. Just a small can of coffee, espresso and cream, all right? And this is absolutely delicious if you just dump it in there. This is how simple this is, guys, okay? All right. In the second one, I'm going to use milk, okay? Just straight up milk, here. Straight up evaporated. And I'm going to go just a little bit more than half a cup, okay? And then for the third one, I'm going with apple cider, okay? All right, apple cider. Now, here's what's going to happen next. They're going to sit for a while, but before they sit, I'm going to add some stuff to them, okay? Now, the coffee one, I like just the way it is. This one at the end is going to get some fruit, and that's exactly the way I like it. So I'm going to set this guy aside just to plump up, all right? Now for the milk, I have a tiny spoon. For the milk, I'm going to add 1 spoonful of this gorgeous pistachio butter. Okay. Tiny bit of yogurt. And that's that. The apple is going to get a tiny hint of vanilla. Okay? This is vanilla bean paste. Okay? You put a tiny little bit there because there's only 1 serving. Alright. Now, serve with alright, so let's get all of this. want to just mix this. And once it's mixed, then we're going to let it soak. Okay? It's going from here to a cup, and it's going to soak in the cup, and it's done, and it's never going to move from that spot. Okay? So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to taste this. Alright? Test it for a few seconds while we do this one. Make sure we get that vanilla mix, because if not, somebody gets a gigantic dollop of vanilla in their mouth, and that's not good. Okay. So remember, this is apple cider, just a hint of vanilla. Alright. And over here we have evaporated milk, yogurt, and pistachio butter. Behind me we have coffee and cream, and that's it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put them in the cups, and then we're going to let them soak. So we have some nice cups here. I'm going to make a nice big mess putting them in there, you'll see. As you can see, it starts to soak it up very fast. Let's give it a taste. Okay, so let me explain what's going to happen. You're getting a very neutral coffee cream flavor, not overly sweet, not overly bitter. So you have to taste to see if you like it any sweeter than it is right now. But right now, it's very, very neutral, okay? So first thing we're going to do is put it in here, and then we're going to let them soak. And then we're going to come back and add a lot of stuff, because this is just half of the work. The other half is prepping it once it's soaked. Think of this as cooking rice, only it's, you know, not cooked. Wow, I didn't make a mess. The day is young. Oh. Alright, so how thick this is getting already. It's already soaking it up. And remember, this is just half a cup. This is one serving of each one. Of the solid as I can. Number 2 down, no mess. Here's your turn. All right, so apple, milk with pistachio, chocolate. Now what you're going to do is you're going to let them sit for, I want to say, at least an hour. 2 hours would be better. 4 or 8 hours would be ideal. Now, in a nice airtight container, this will last a week. Okay. So the next step that we're going to do is we're just going to cover them and put them in the fridge and let them soak for about an hour, and we'll be back. So we have 3 different kinds of overnight oats. Now, I call this chocolate, so I apologize. It's coffee, okay? So let's start over here with the apple, all right? So we soak this with apple cider and a bit of vinegar. This isn't vinegar, a little bit of vanilla, okay? So, yeah, I dyslexia all the time. So, now, to this, I've grated an apple, all right? Now, I've grated an apple for all of them, okay? They all are going to get the apple. Why? Because the apple's good fiber, and it's a good filler. And it tastes good with all of it, okay? So, here we're going to go with a little bit of cinnamon. Now, you don't measure this. What you do is you're going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on there, okay? Think of it as a light seasoning, like if you're seasoning a steak or a plate after. You put that little pinch of salt that you put just before you start eating. That's more or less, okay? Now, to that, we're going to add about a tablespoon and a half of shredded cheddar cheese, okay? That's about a pinch right there, okay? Let's go with a little bit of pinch and a half. So let's go with 2 tablespoons. Alright. Alright, so we have apple, cinnamon, and cheddar cheese. Okay. Now to this we are going to add just a tiny, tiny bit of nutmeg. Okay. Also, as if it's just a sprinkle. That's it. See? Just a little sprinkle, like as if you're adding that little extra pinch of salt at the end, you know, and saying, it just needed that extra little bit. That's what you're adding, okay? And then you're going to mix this really nicely. All right. You're going to come over here. You're going to get a little bit of this maple syrup. About a tablespoon. You're going to mix this so it looks like a salad, right? See how it looks like a little salad? Alright, so it's mixing really nice. Now the last ingredient, we're going to add some raisins. All this is optional, okay? So, you know, add raisins if you like. I don't like that one. I don't like that one either. Okay, get some more. That's better. Don't think just because they come in these bags that they're all good. Some of them might be bad in here. So as you put them down, keep an eye on them. Okay. So this is the filling. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to top it off with this. Alright? Now this is obviously going to be a little bit much, but let's see if we can't stuff it in there. Alright? You're going to get to see me make a mess. There's one last ingredient, okay, that's going to go in here. As soon as I'm done trying to get it all in there. This is a big serving. But it is one serving. Why? Because it's pretty much a fiber meal, okay? And it's all right to push it down. Don't be afraid. We got it all in there, except for the little stragglers. Okay, so done with that. Now the next and last ingredient is, I want to talk to you about this real quick. But because I'm a chef, I cannot stand this. So give me 1 second. Okay, so our last ingredient. Very, very simple. You've seen me make caramel before. Okay? You've seen me make caramel before. It's 2 ingredients. It's cream and sugar. Okay? The sugar gets caramelized in a pan, and the cream will deglaze, and that's caramel. Okay? In this case, you're doing the exact same thing, except you're doing the deglazing instead of with cream, with apple cider. And this is apple cider caramel right here, okay? And you're going to take some and you're going to pour it right on top, just like that. Some of that apple cider caramel. And that is your apple overnight oats right there. All right? Now, let's move on. This is our pistachio. And to this, we are also going to add apple, except to this apple, I'm going to zest a little bit of lemon. Okay? Find the big ones here. About a quarter of the lemon zest, okay? And what you're going to do now is you're going to toss this together, right? Now to this, we're going to have 1 tablespoon of dark brown sugar. Okay, not heaping, kind of low to the rim. All right. And you're going to mix this together really nicely. And mix it good because the brown sugar will create lumps, and then you'll have lumps of brown sugar instead of brown sugar melding in there. Okay. We're going to go with our, we have cranberry and walnuts, dried and sweet cranberries with glazed walnuts. Okay. Put those in there. We're going to toss that around. Okay. And that is the topping for this. Okay. Now you can dump it all in here and mix it if you like. You'll find that the textures, you're either going to like them like this or you're going to like them mixed. You're going to like them where they all sit for everything for a few hours. You know? So you have choices here. This is how endless your choices are here. I mean, you can soak this in the liquid, or you can soak it in everything overnight if you want to. Okay, it's up to you. So if you want the fresh crunchy textures of the apple and stuff, well then grate it and leave it on top. But if you don't care and you want the flavor to penetrate and be, you know, really mixed in there, well then mix it in there and let it sit in there overnight with the oats. You know. But remember, it only takes about an hour for them to soak up the liquid, but the longer they stay, the better. Okay. So if you do this say tonight before you go to bed, and you come back tomorrow and you start doing the rest of it, then yeah, it's going to be amazing. All right. So this is our pistachio overnight oats. Okay. And finally, we have coffee. Now to the coffee, I'm going to add a little cinnamon, again, because cinnamon and coffee go really nice. Where did I leave that? Oh, it's over here. So this is going to get a little bit of cinnamon, same as before. Just a little hint, see? You can barely see it in there, okay? And I'm going to give it a little shredded coconut. All right, just a little pinch. Not a lot, because this has a very rough texture, okay? And to this we're going to add walnuts. All right, we're going to add about a half a handful of walnuts. All right, that size. All right. Last but not least, well, second to last, because we're going to need a binder. Okay. In this case, we're going to use our maple syrup again. Just to put it together. And lastly, we're going to make it a mocha. We're going to put some chocolate chips in there. Okay. Now, you can go to the market and you can literally get anything that's liquid. Okay. This is an example of the sweet stuff. I can soak this in chicken stock, dice vegetables, and put vegetables and hunks of chicken in there, and all of a sudden you have an overnight oats that has it's like a chicken with oats. You know, it's like it's a main course. So many options. For example, you can go to the frozen section and get what do you call it? Those margarita mixes that they sell. I don't know if they'd be any good, but give it a try. You know what I mean? Anything that's a liquid over there that you can eat, you can soak them in soak the oats in it. Okay. So start putting our topping in here. You can cook them. You can cook these oats, okay? Pour them in the cups and let them cool, and do all these toppings. Same thing. You know, you can cook the oats literally in anything. This is just examples. I mean, you can use almond milk, soy milk, oat milk. You know. The chocolate ones, the vanilla ones, the sweetened, the unsweetened, you know, orange juice, grape juice, pineapple juice, you know, chicken stock, beef stock, you know, any stock left over from a pot roast. Think about it. So this is your coffee, or shall we call it a mocha? Okay. Now, remember, these are one serving. Okay? So you're getting about 3/4 of an apple in each, and you're getting a half a cup of oats, which is really good fiber, and then the rest is good stuff, you know? I mean, yogurt, pistachio, you're getting apple cider over here, you're getting a yummy coffee over here, you know? So the possibilities with these things are endless. I encourage you to try them and to literally try them with anything. Okay? So remember, learn to cook and you'll eat better for the rest of your life.